So the next part we are going to discuss in today's class is the hormonal control in spermatogenesis and in oogenesis, and also we discuss the difference between spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Now let us talk about first hormonal control in spermatogenesis. So as we know, spermatogenesis process takes place at the time of puberty. Even though testes are there by birth in the male individual, but the sperm production starts only at the time of puberty. And this is because the hormone secreted from the hypothalamus region. Whenever the concentration of GnRH increases in the blood, then only it stimulates the anterior pituitary to release the gonadotropin. So in today's class, we will discuss this thing. So at the time of puberty, the hypothalamus region which secretes the hormone called GnRH means gonadotrophic releasing hormone, which stimulates anterior pituitary. And this anterior pituitary releases two gonadotropin. One is LH, luteinizing hormone. Another one is FSH, follicular stimulating hormone. This LH or luteinizing hormone stimulates the Leydig cells or interstitial cells. So we have discussed where these Leydig cells are present. If you are not clearly observed or understood there, I will recall the same thing. So these Leydig cells are present in between the seminiferous tubules and they secrete hormones, androgens. Androgens are secreted from these Leydig cells. The major androgen is testosterone. And these androgens help in the process called the spermatogenesis. They help in the process called the spermatogenesis. And also testosterone is important to influence the appearance of secondary sexual characters in male individual at the time of puberty. The secondary sexual characters which appear in the male at the time of puberty, they all are because of the influence of the male sex hormone testosterone. So this is about the LH and how it acts for the controlling the spermatogenesis. Now there is one more hormone secreted from the anterior pituitary that we call the FSH. So this FSH acts on the or stimulates the Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells are those which are present along with the germ cells on the seminiferous wall. So these Sertoli cells are not directly involving in spermatogenesis. They are providing only nutrition to the developing sperms. So when the FSH stimulates the Sertoli cells, they release certain factors. Which stimulates the process spermiogenesis. So spermiogenesis means we already come across this process where non-functional spermatid is transforming into functional sperm. So that process is called the spermiogenesis and it is influenced by the factors which are secreted from the Sertoli cells. Sertoli cells also secrete one more hormone. The name of the hormone is inhibin. This is another hormone secreted from the Sertoli cells. And this inhibin suppresses the FSH. Whenever the concentration of FSH has become very high, so this FSH secretion is going to be suppressed by the help of inhibin. So this is the flow chart of hormonal control in spermatogenesis. So here we can notice how many the hormones are involved in this process. One hormone we can make out, this is the one first hormone which is called the gonadotrophic releasing hormone, which is also called the hypothalamic hormone. Hypothalamic hormone, and this hormone secretes only at the time of puberty from the hypothalamus. So the next, this GnRH stimulates the anterior pituitary to release two pituitary hormones. One is LH or luteinizing hormone, or we may also call the interstitial stimulating hormone or ICSH, because this hormone stimulates the Leydig cells or interstitial cells, hence it also called the interstitial stimulating hormone. It is secreted from the anterior pituitary. When it stimulates the Leydig cells secretes the androgens, and these androgens, they stimulate the process spermatogenesis. So this is next hormone, and androgens are the group of hormones. So these are another group of hormones. So here FSH is one more hormone which secretes the certain factors which influence spermatogenesis, and Sertoli cell secretes the one more hormone. So these are the hormones which are involved in the spermatogenesis process. To control the spermatogenesis process, all these hormones they are taking part in this process. So now we'll go to the next process, that is hormonal control in oogenesis. In oogenesis also many hormones are involved to control the process. Let us see what are those hormones and how they are controlling the whole process. So during puberty, from hypothalamus region, a hormone is secreting. The name of the hormone is GnRH or gonadotrophic releasing hormone. And this hormone stimulates the anterior pituitary. Anterior pituitary secretes two hormones. One is FSH, another one is LH. FSH means follicular stimulating hormone. Means they acts on the growing follicles. So they help in the growth of follicles. This hormone help in the growth of follicles. These growing follicles release the hormone estrogen. And this estrogen maintains the or proliferate the endometrium wall. Endometrium wall is proliferated under the influence of estrogen. So when estrogen during the mid cycle of menstrual, it also triggers the LH secretion. And when LH secretion reaches its peak point, that we call the LH surge. LH surge means whenever the concentration of LH reaches its peak point. In that situation, it acts on the mature Graafian follicle, and Graafian follicle is going to be ruptured. Graafian follicle ruptures. That process we call the ovulation. Means ovulation takes place under the influence of LH. And this Graafian follicle which releases the secondary oocyte during ovulation, that is going to be transformed into the corpus luteum. It transforms into the corpus luteum. This corpus luteum starts secreting another hormone, progesterone. It secretes the progesterone. And this progesterone maintains the endometrium wall. It maintains the endometrium wall. Endometrium wall. So this is the process which takes place. Suppose if the oocyte is not fertilized or fertilization not take place, first of all this corpus luteum degenerates as a corpus albicans. The corpus luteum degenerate and forms as a corpus albicans. So the progesterone and estrogen secretion is going to be decreased. When these two hormones level is decreased, so the endometrium wall ruptures and that come out as a menstruation or menstrual discharge, and that we call the menstruation or menstrual phase. This is the first step of second menstrual cycle. And again FSH secretion starts starts increasing slowly or gradually, and it's again help to proliferate or for the growth of and the follicle for the next menstrual cycle. So this is about the hormonal control in the oogenesis, which we may also call the negative feedback mechanism, because the estrogen, whenever the concentration of FSH is become very high, estrogen triggers or suppress the over secretion of FSH. So until there is a process, Graafian follicle formation process is there, no more FSH secretion is allowed. So this is about the hormonal control in oogenesis. Here also many hormones are involved. So let us list what are those hormones. First hormone of this process is GnRH. This is secreted from the hypothalamus, hence it is also called the hypothalamic hormone, which act on the anterior pituitary, stimulates the anterior pituitary and make it to release two hormones. One is FSH and the one is LH. FSH acts on the follicles and make them to form as a primary follicles to the mature follicles. And these growing follicles release the one more hormone. The name of the hormone is estrogen. And estrogen maintains or proliferates the endometrium wall. And LH help for the ovulation by rupturing Graafian follicle. And the Graafian follicle, after releasing secondary oocyte, transform into egg tissue or the corpus luteum. This corpus luteum also act as a temporary endocrine gland. It also act as a temporary endocrine gland because it also starts secreting the one more hormone, that is called the progesterone. Progesterone we usually call as a pregnancy hormone because it maintains the endometrium wall and it not allows the contraction. So that's why it's called the pregnancy hormone. If the corpus luteum is oocyte is not fertilized, corpus luteum is transferred into corpus albicans, and next events are there is a slow decrease in the estrogen and progesterone and increase in the again FSH and LH takes place. So this is about the hormonal control in oogenesis. So we also discuss one more thing, that is difference between spermatogenesis and oogenesis. We'll discuss about the spermatogenesis and oogenesis. Here we are going to write the spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So we are already familiar with these two processes. Spermatogenesis is the one where sperms are producing from the spermatogonial cells. Oogenesis is the one where the ovum is producing from the oogonial cells. But the main difference is spermatogenesis starts at puberty. It starts at puberty. When individual reaches the puberty, in that situation the spermatogenesis starts. But oogenesis starts in embryonic stage only. It starts at embryonal stage of female fetus. When female fetus is in the embryonal stage, in that period only the oogenesis starts. So the next difference between these two are, so the spermatogenesis produce the male gametes. So here male gametes are formed in the seminiferous tubules of testes. Are formed in the seminiferous tubules of testes. But in oogenesis, female gamete is formed in follicular cells of ovary. The follicular cells of ovary. So the next difference is, millions of sperms are produced in one day. Millions of sperms are produced per day, but only one egg or ovum is produced during one menstrual cycle. One egg or ovum is produced during one menstrual cycle. So next difference between these two is, the primary spermatocyte, when divides due to first meiotic division, it divides into two equal daughter cells. Primary spermatocyte gives two equal sized secondary spermatocytes by first meiotic division. But in case of oogenesis, the primary oocyte gives two unequal sized cells. One is secondary oocyte, another one is first polar body by meiotic 1 division. This is another difference between spermatogenesis and oogenesis. So the one spermatogonium cell produce 4 functional sperms, but one oogonium produce 1 functional oocyte and 3 polar bodies. So these are some of the difference. So here even the growth period is very short in spermatogenesis, but growth period is very long in oogenesis. This is another difference. So here I am going to finish this topic. In the next class I am going to discuss with you menstrual cycle. So in that menstrual cycle process we may get help of this hormonal control of oogenesis, because there we are going to study the the whole process, but in stepwise manner. In 4 steps are there in menstrual cycle. So in each step we may observe the one or other hormone influence or use. So if you understood very clearly oogenesis, you will definitely understand menstrual cycle. Thank you.